Now that the indexes are done, let's continue the Roboutian Heresy. Times of ending. 2 minutes to midnight. My lords, Asdrubal Vect has sent a message to El Uriak and made public declaration about how it was time for the heirs of the Eldar Empire to put aside their differences and stand together to reclaim what is rightfully theirs. So far, the tyrant of Shadum has been cautious, but it seems he is willing to meet with the Overlord to discuss things further. Their emissaries are discussing location and time. You know what the consequences could be if Vex succeed in unifying the Dark Eldar. This cannot be allowed to happen. I doubt Vex's stated intentions are genuine, but I don't question his ambition and thirst for power. I await instructions and will continue my investigation in the meantime. To the end of glory. From Chemos, homeworld of the 3rd Legion. 2. All Emperor's Children's forces, all astropathic personnel to relay this message at full capacity. Brothers, the hour is dire. The forces of the archenemy have entered the Chemos system. Dozens of ships, estimated to carry thousands of traitor legionnaires, and many times more of their foul, debased servants, breached the Mandeville point less than an hour before this transmission. The fleet has been identified as belonging to the Black Legion. Worse, the commander of this dark armada has been identified to be none other than the arch-renegade himself. That's right, brothers. For reasons only his own diseased mind can comprehend, Fabius Bile has come to Chemos, bringing with him a sizable portion of the infamous Black Legion. Our analysis estimates that nearly the entire Black Legion's presence outside the Eye of Terror has come here. We can all let this opportunity to finally bring the traitor to justice and end our Legion's old shame pass. As per my authority as steward of the Legion, until the Phoenicians return, I am recalling all Emperor's children to Chemos. Bring any Imperial forces willing to fight at your side with you, for we shall need them. I know not why the arch-renegade has come, but I will lead my warriors in defense of Chemos. Our homeworld shall not be tainted with his foul designs until every son of Fulgrim on this planet is dead, and the traitors will pay a blood price for each of us. But as things stand, I fear that we will be unable to take them all to the grave with us. Come back quickly, brothers, or Fulgrim's world may be lost to the dark forces we have fought for 10,000 years. I shall see you on the fields of our homeworld, or at the Emperor's side. Legion Master Draldolon, Guardian of Chemos. From Inquisitor Pontius Claw, Ordo Hereticus, to Redacted. Priority Black. My lord, I have finally been able to locate the rogue Eisenhorn. He is on Scour, a minor and nearly forgotten world that has long since entered the terminal phase of economical collapse, but hasn't died quite yet. Me and my acolytes have come to the world itself and begun the hunt for Eisenhorn and his allies. But we aren't the only ones on his trail. It seems like every heretical faction in the Segmentum, and several from beyond, has sent agents to this world to find him, and the world is slowly falling to anarchy as they battle each other in the streets. I have identified elements from the 1st, 7th, and 9th. I have identified elements from the 1st, 7th, 9th, and 19th Traitor Legions, as well as cults from every known aspect of the ruinous powers. So far, Eisenhorn has proved that he hasn't lost any of the skills he displayed when he was still a trusted member of the Ordos, and none of his pursuers have succeeded in killing him, though the battles he has fought have left their mark on the planet's cities and population. The cult of the Divine Fraternity is especially present in great numbers. From what I have been able to learn by interrogating one of their initiates, it seems that the seers of the cult are as worried about the potential consequences of Eisenhorn's actions as we are. They have abandoned their efforts on many potential calamities in order to focus their resources on Sancor. That's the name of the planet. And my investigation has revealed that an entire army's worth of cultists and mercenaries is on its way to this planet. Though I know that the Order's assets are stretched thin, I formally request reinforcements, both in inquisitorial personnel, but also in military forces. Both, I believe, will be necessary to prevent what we fear from coming to pass. I also ask that the possibility of sentencing Sancor to exterminatus be considered. While I do not believe it would succeed in removing the threat posed by Eisenhorn, he has lived through many supposedly impossible to survive situations, it would at least delay him and deal a great blow to the heretical factions hunting him down. Furthermore, there is little of value on Sancor. Its loss would be an acceptable price to prevent the rise of the Yellow King. I trust in your wisdom and assure you that I will do all in my power to track and bring down Eisenhorn before his madness dooms us all. Pontius Claw. From Warsmith Shontu of the Iron Warriors, commander of Hydra Cordatus Garrison, to High Command of the Cadian Iron Cage, Priority Omega. Note, much of the context of the message was lost, as a dozen astropaths went mad when it was received, shrieking about the coming of the Shadowed One. Once the message was cleansed of corrupting influence, only its core meaning remained. New development and Raven Guard siege of Fortress. Revising previous estimations that current forces could hold. I request reinforcements. 4th Legion forces and allies will hold as long as possible, but defeat likely inevitable. Bring Demon Hunters. Ordo Malus' militant chamber likely best and only option. The Raven Lord has come. Corax is here. Corax is here, blood, bone, flesh. Aborting reading, corrupted data. From Imperial World Tartarus to all Imperial forces. Priority Alpha. This is a call for assistance to all Imperial forces who receive it. Tartarus is under attack by Chaos forces, led by Chaos Marines. The orbital defenses and our in-system flotilla have been destroyed, allowing the traitors to make planetfall unhindered. The capital has fallen. The governor is dead, and I have assumed command of the planetary government. I am aware that this is an outstepping of my role. I shall willingly submit myself to investigation for this usurpation as soon as the crisis is over. Intelligence on the enemy is scarce, but they appear to be led by a traitor Astartes called Gabriel Angelos, though his forces call him the Blood Raven. While the enemy forces count in the tens of thousands, there are only a handful of Astartes in leadership positions among those attacking us. The Blood Raven himself hasn't led the assault on the remaining cities. Instead, he and his followers are active in the plains, but I do not know what they are doing. It is taking all that we have left to hold on to the last cities of Tartarus, which are packed with refugees from all those which fell in the early stages of the invasion. The enemy's bloodthirst is immense, and they care nothing for losses. I have also received reports of another force at work on Tartarus, and while these reports contain little evidence, what evidence they do include point at involvement from the Eldar. Why the Xenos might have come to Tartarus is unknown to me, but it cannot mean anything good for us. The PDF for Tartarus will hold as long as they can, but without reinforcements, I fear our planet is doomed to whatever fell destiny the Blood Raven or the Eldar have in mind for us. The Emperor protects. Colonel Carus Brom, acting governor of Tartarus. From Acolyte Elid Zarek to Ordo Vigilus Headquarters, South Pole, Holy Terra. Priority Vermilion. Masters, as per your orders, I have spent the last 2 weeks examining and cross-referencing records, and I am afraid that the numbers do not lie. The echoes of blood are growing louder. In the last century, accounts of individuals being corrupted by the baleful influence of the Blood Angels have increased tenfold. The priests of Horus Memorial doubled the amount of exorcism and ritual purifications more than 50 years ago, but at least 100 of their personnel have been revealed to be corrupted as well. As you know, some of them performed their blasphemies within the memorial itself 20 years ago, and the numbers indicate that things went even worse after that. I suspect that even if the heretics were stopped by the custodies before they could complete their dreadful ritual, they still made some progress towards freeing the ancient evil that this holy ground contains. More disquieting are the cults that have begun to sprout in the workers' districts, worshipping an entity they call the True Angel. It is said to promise deliverance from the misery and unfairness of the dregs' existence, and grant them eternal life and joy. Cells of the cult are responsible for several hideous murders, followed by the ritualistic mutilation of the victim, which sole purpose seemed to be to spill as much blood as possible on Terra. In violation of the holy prohibitions, I believe these cultists have been touched by the echoes of blood, their souls warped by Sanguinius' evil. The details of my findings are attached to this transmission. I implore you do not underestimate the danger at play here. We all know the source of the echoes of blood, but in my investigations, I have begun to wonder if we truly understand the power that lies even in the Blood Angel's dreams. Astropathic transmission number I won't pronounce. Identified original location, 86.689% probability Calyx sector. 56.112 capital world Scintilla. Warning. Transmission heavily damaged. Recovered content estimated at 12%, might as well be 13. Begin decoded transmission. Yuvat ships coming out of the Jericho Reach. An armada unlike anything. Black Star, burning the soul and twisting the flesh, unleashed its... The blood of the raven has awoken. The worms have launched a massive offensive. Billions dead. Their brains consumed. White-clad giant with a pair of axes leading the fight against the invaders. Unverified reports that the traveler has returned and is fighting every other abomination. The stars are going dark. My lords, the stars are... End of transmission. The machine knows all. The machine sees all. From Inquisitor Hersal Morion, Ordo Xenos Council. Priority Black. My esteemed colleagues, the Octarian War is over, and Krutman's gambit failed, as well as we all suspected it would in the end. The Orcs and Tyranids did not destroy each other. The latter emerged the victors, stronger than ever. The Great Devourer triumphed when it spawned a new kind of organism, one we have never encountered before, seemingly destined specifically to fight the Greenskins. Unfortunately, I have been unable to procure a specimen for study, and what little information I have was recovered from a long distance by my agents in the system. Most of them did not survive for extraction. This new genetic abomination seems to be able to disrupt the mysterious Wa connection that exists between all greenskins, preventing them access to this well of psychic energy. Without it, their will to fight is broken, and their psychers are unable to wield the full scope of their destructive powers. With these new Tyranids, High Fleet Leviathan struck at the Orcs' fortresses, slaying the war bosses and preventing the rise of new ones. Without leadership, the Orcs have broken apart and are fleeing the Octarius sector in droves while being slaughtered by the Great Devourer's swarm. Imperial systems in the vicinity are being overrun by the fleeing Orcs, and the Tyranids will not be long behind them. Gazgul Mag Uruk Traka, the infamous warlord responsible for the Third War of Armageddon, has arrived amidst the confusion, rallying many of the fractured mobs to his banner. I do not know what his intentions are. He might seek to fight back against the swarm, or he might want to bring his new hordes back with him to Armageddon. Should that be his goal, then I fear that the planet would soon fall under the onslaught of so many reinforcements. Yet, the beast of Armageddon isn't our greatest concern. The Tyranid swarm is. It will take some time for the High Fleet to finish consuming all the biomass the Orcs have left behind. But, when it does, I fear it will be unstoppable. Considering the reports of their existing numbers and the increasing number of conflicts throughout the galaxy, I have been forced to an unwelcome conclusion. I believe the Bestiam Dormitoris might hold our only chance to stop High Fleet Leviathan now. From Magos Uria Novaricon to Fabricator General Abritus Telvisi, Priority Omega. Venerated hand and eyes of the Omnissiah, blessed be his work. Despite the best efforts of my team and myself, I fear that what the servants of the Machine God have always known and dreaded to be inevitable will soon happen. The glorious golden throne is falling, sacred components after sacred components breaking down under the strain of 10,000 years of continuous use, and we, lowly servants of the Omnissiah's glory, cannot repair or replace them. Mercifully, the psychic amplifiers remain intact, though our instruments indicate that divine power coursing through them has diminished slowly but steadily over the last 10 millennia. Please see my previous reports and suggestions for increasing the tide of sacrifice psychers. But the stasis fields and life support systems are in such a condition that they could fail at any moment, bringing the mortal body of the God Machine at the cruel mercies of time. When this happens, the consequences will be catastrophic beyond any simulation. The hour might have come to initiate our last chance protocol, much as it might seem like heresy. May the blessings of the Omnissiah be upon your circuits. I hate it when this happens. I always get tongue twisted. In this darkest of hours, and illuminate the path to deliverance for us all. Oh, I'm gonna like this one. From Lord Baptist Leon III, Governor of Hive World Abracicus Segmentum Pacificus, to Adeptus Terra Sector Council. Priority, Crimson. My lords, it is with deep shame that I must tell you that the world you have entrusted in my stewardship has come under attack from an unknown but powerful foe. 3 months ago, every station tasked with monitoring the border between the Segmentum Pacificus and the Hollow Zone went dark, with not even an astropathic distress call being sent. We reacted by marshalling our forces and preparing for an hostile incursion, but we did not foresee the true scope of the threat. Horrors have poured forth from the hollow stars. Xenos-tainted humans fighting alongside the traitorous Astartes, wearing the marks of the Wolf King, but displaying none of the savagery and bestiality this breed of heretic is known for. 3 of Abracicus' 7 major cities have already fallen to the invader, and the reports from the units that remain trapped behind enemy lines paint a grim picture of inhuman experiments and atrocities being visited upon the population. The leader of the foe called themselves the Wolf Brothers, and while they outwardly appear to be traitorous Astartes, the dissection of one of their fallen has revealed a great divergence from the Emperor's holy design for the legions, something that my savants tell me isn't related to the touch of the ruinous powers. Though the PDF troops fight with all the courage that could be expected from them, I fear that the only reason the remaining cities stand is because the enemy is still busy processing the civilians in captured hives. Intercepted communications indicate that the commander of this force is a being called Hraldir, but he hasn't been sighted on the battlefield, though he appears to be responsible for many of the atrocities being visited upon my people. I call for assistance in liberating Abracicus from this dreadful threat, before the only deliverance that can be granted to both world and population is the fire of Exterminatus. The Emperor protects. From Agent 320-839-601-666, codename Martyr. Current assignment, Ocularius Terribus. To Outpost Omega, 46789. Okay. I fear that I do not have much time left, brothers. The voices grow worse, laughing and mocking at the edge of my mind, while the shadows grow ever closer, waiting for me to show a moment's weakness so that they might pounce and consume all that I have left to sacrifice. Duty. Duty is all I have left. Duty is all I ever hadn't. I will not fail you, my lords. Otherwise, what was the point of everything I lost? Everything I did? I will not fail. I must not fail. But the betrayer's mask grows stronger, and I grow weak. There is not much time left, so listen well. Despite our efforts, Bile's influence in the Eye of Terror has increased dramatically. It seems like the black-hearted traitor is everywhere at once, forging alliances with all manners of horrors and binding others to his will through sheer strength and cunning. He has raised the banner of a black crusade again, his mouthpieces spouting rhetoric about the destruction of Cadia and the shattering of the Iron Cage once and for all. New recruits flock to the Black Legion, and warbands from other traitor legions are also rallying to its black and gold banner. I have seen the staging grounds of his armada with my own eyes. Mighty fleets and vast armies, followed by infernal hosts, packed to the service of the sorcerer's covens who have joined the primogenitor's cause. Rumors abound about what other abominations the Clone Lord might have added to his cause, but even if his forces are limited to those who I can confer myself, then when the signal is given, Cadia will face an onslaught such as he had never seen before. I beg you, take heed of my warning, for if Cadia falls, then this horde of the lost and the damned will pour on the galaxy unchecked, and then nothing will stop them. Nothing will stop us. From Mining World Damnos to Ultima Segmentum High Command. Priority Crimson. Esteemed Lords of the Imperium, Damnos is under attack. 3 weeks ago, an hostile fleet entered the system. Considering its numbers, our system defense chose not to pointlessly sacrifice themselves in an attempt to deny them orbital superiority. Mandos Prime, our primary mining complex, fell within hours. So far, the enemy has focused its attention on the city. Our scouts have detected signs that the mining machinery has been reactivated, as if whatever the foe is seeking lies deep beneath the surface. The nature of the enemy is especially troubling. There are traitor marines among them, bearing the mark of the great wolf upon their armor, and led by a corrupted dreadnought. But a broad variety of hideous Xenos has also been sighted along the invasion force. These creatures are those against which Damnos defenders fight the most, since they, unlike the renegade Astartes, do not remain within the Mandos Prime's borders. Instead, they raid other settlements, taking captives and loot. Several hive cities have fallen, despite the brave efforts and sacrifices of the regiments under my command. Kellenport, the planetary capital, still holds, and it is from within its walls that I and my council prosecute the war against the traitors and alien scum that despoil our world. But that war is going poorly, for the enemy both outnumbers and outguns us. Worse, another kind of foe seems to have appeared on Damnos. Cold, metallic creatures that fight without a sound and yield weaponry unlike anything my military advisors have ever seen before. These nightmarish horrors have attacked both the people of Damnos and the invaders, showing no mercy or interest for the capture of Imperial installations. They simply destroy everything in their way. In our sporadic contacts with the system defense fleet, we have learned of new spacecraft through which these beings could have arrived to Damnos. Furthermore, unlike the Wolfmark invaders and their Xenos allies, we have neither intercepted nor received any transmission from the metallic warriors, save for a single message that was broadcast soon before they razed the entire hive of Argolis. We are the Necrons. We are death. Surrender and die. Damnos cannot stand alone against such foes, and I beg for your aid. Without prompt assistance, this world shall surely fall to one or the other of the dark forces that do battle upon its soil. In the Emperor's name, Hynormius Cyrant, Governor of Damnos. Report 16828/3183520/Omicron. They are all dead. Do you hear me? The governor, the general, the magos, and all others, they are dead. That thing, it ate them all, one by one, picked them up from the ground and put them into that gaping, horrible maw, and it chewed them, and it ate them, and... Oh, blessed Emperor, preserve your humble servant from the machinations of the dark powers. and there are more like it. I ran out of the palace's ruins, and I lost a lot. Of course I did. Oh, where was I? Oh, I ran out of the palace's ruins, calling in for an orbital bombardment, hoping that it could be killed by the ships in orbit. And then I saw it wasn't alone. There were at least 5 more I could see from the palace's entrance, rampaging across the hive, all spindly limbs and fanged mouths, picking up people and devouring them. And there were people screaming everywhere, running in blind panic, trying to get away from the great beasts. Others were on their knees, nothing but bloody wounds where their eyes should be, rolling on the ground screaming. But they weren't the worst. Oh no. The worst was those who were laughing amidst the chaos, laughing and killing everyone they could reach, and then eating the dead, never stopping laughing and wailing while they did. I do not know if it's the same in the other cities. I haven't been able to reach any of them. The satellites and orbits are beyond reach, hidden away behind that hideous tear in the sky through which the horrible monsters came tumbling down, and which shows only darkness and madness to those foolish enough to look up. It's been days? Weeks? Months? I don't know. I found a hiding place in the rubble of an old clockwork shop, but I have eaten through all my provisions, and I am getting hungry. So hungry. I need to go out, find some food. Emperor, protect me. Emperor, protect us all. From Highworld... from Highworld Juno, capital of the Ascalon sector, to Redacted. Priority Black. Master, the Ascalon sector is lost to the Imperium. For hundreds of years, the region of space has tethered on the brink of the abyss, and in the last days it has finally all fallen apart. The noble bloodlines of Juno have succumbed to the lies of Vulcan, and the disciples of the dragon now rule openly across the sector. Shrine worlds have been defaced, their treasures plundered as offerings to the cult's dreaded patron, Patrick Star. The sins of the sector have finally reached a boiling point, and the efforts of many members of the Ordos have been insufficient. In the end, the Lord's sector is dead. A member of the disciples is now ruling in his stead. Across the sector, there are still those who resist the disciples and their corrupted armies, but they are distressingly few and will soon be wiped out. The disciples have successfully united all manner of heretical factions under their banners, though several have refused to submit and continue to fight even now. The population of the sector, crushed all it has been under the boot of the aristocracy for millennia, sees little reason to revolt against this change of masters. All faith in the God Emperor has been bled out of them by uncounted generations of oppression and cruelty, and many have willingly embraced the heresies that now flourish unopposed across the worlds of the Ascalon sector. Desoleum, once known for the piety and obedience of its population, had the later attribute turned against itself when a powerful witch of the disciples perverted the complex structure of oaths and binds Desoleum society together. Now this dark queen, known as the Oath Taker, holds the souls of all Desoleum in her corrupted grasp. More than 300 billion men and women enslaved to her will. And the pandemonium, the great warp storm that looms over the sector, has spat out tides of demons that have swarmed several worlds, which are now lost beyond all hope of salvation. Nothing short of a full crusade can hope to cleanse the Ascalon sector and bring it back into the Imperium now. But until such a time arrives, Ascalon and all its dark secrets and terrible treasures belong to the Black Dragon. May the Emperor have mercy on our souls, for surely neither Vulcan nor his human puppets shall. I will attempt to flee Juno soon, but I do not know whether or not I will succeed. Should I fail, this will likely be my final message. Unless you hear from me in person, do not trust any further communication claiming to hail from me. For while we have all heard about the dreadful necromancies of the disciples, I have witnessed them with my own eyes. and I fear such a fate for myself should I be captured by the cultists of Vulcan. The Emperor protects. Acolyte Jahai Nervis, Ordo Hereticus. Mission Briefing 30835 to Ethereal Council, Tau Empire. Okay, this is interesting. Commander O. Shova. After decades of planning, the hour has finally come. Wait, I should put the Tau accent, shouldn't I? The forces of the Tau Empire will break the quarantine laid by the Guela's Imperium around the region of space they call the Ruinstorm, and that is known to us as the Kingdom of Ultramar. That doesn't sound proper. I'm trying to go for something Spanish, I guess. Many diplomatic contacts have been made with the Guela leaders of this kingdom, trapped within their own borders by the Imperium for these last 10,000 years. Oh no. They have agreed to join the Tau Empire if we can free them of the Imperium's imprisonment. And it is the decision of the Ethereal Council that we come to their aid. Oh, but you don't know what you're doing. Like, I read through all of these, but this one's the most striking one. To ensure success in this most critical of endeavors, it has been decided that both disciples of Pure Tides shall be sent to lead the Armada. We are deploying to the Iron Cage, the greatest ever seen in the glorious history of our people. Both you, O Shova, known among our kind as Farsight, and your comrade, Commander O Shahsera, who received the title of Shadow Sun for her exploits in service to the greater good, will be deployed against the oppressive forces of the Imperium. Like you, she has been awakened from her stasis slumber. Doubtlessly, you will meet her during the journey to the Iron Cage. The Ethereal Council expects the two of you to put any past differences you might have had aside and work together to bring freedom to the people of Ultramar. For the greater good, Aunva, Master of the Undying Spirit, Speaker of great truths, Father of his people, the great leader, the shining light. From Imperial Seer 0527803610053, codename Oedipius, to Outpost Sigma 8080, Ruinstorm Iron Cage. Black blood flows on the world of lies. The filth of the depths is rising to the surface. The sons of the storm will come together in war, and be forged into a shadow by the hand that slumbers. The traitor's son will seek his father's doom, and be brought low by the judgment eluded for so long. The twisted hero and the triumphant warlord will come, drawn to the promises of bloodshed and power. While the prophet of the ancient maze rises for reasons unknown only to him, the throne that is a tomb will fail or fall, and the screamless king will stand, sending tremors of fear and hope across the stars themselves. The king's servants shall gather once more, together at the foot of the throne, kneeling before the one chosen to inherit the power of the divine. And the shadowy monarch will rage as his plans come undone. As a lost crown can never be reclaimed, a pawn, once made king, can never be made a pawn again, nor can the dead ever be brought back to life. From Astra Militarum Segmentum Ultima High Command, to Commissar Saphias Kane, Priority Vermilion. Thought of the day: loyalty is its own reward. Commissar Kane, due to the recent surges in activity from the Eye of Terror, it has been decided that your retirement will be temporarily suspended once more. The ship Harbinger of Virtue will soon arrive to Perila to carry you, along with several new titled regiments, to Cadia, where you will be assigned to one of the regiments defending the planet alongside the Iron Warriors. You are expected to make a necessary I'm trying to do all this in one reading, it's always hard. You are expected to make all necessary preparations for your departure. A replacement to the Schola shall be dispatched in due time, and we trust in the abilities of the remaining personnel to make do in your absence. The situation on Cadia is dire. The heretical presence among the local population has greatly increased in the last few years, with a catastrophic spike in recent months. Your duties will include maintaining morale in the local regiments, something your reputation should make an easy task. You will also be tasked with liaisoning between the Astra Militarum Command, the 4th Legion, and the Inquisitorial presence on Cadia. Your past actions have proved your capability in that regard, and it is vital that Cadia's defenders work together rather than each alone. In the name of the Emperor, death to his foes. P.S. I shall see you on Cadia. A.V. P.P.S. For the Emperor. Observation Outpost Delta 42 to Tetralion Legion Command. Code Prospero. Terminus message. Outpost lost to hostile forces. Chaos Fleet located on approach to Tetralion system. Estimated time of arrival within 2 to 4 weeks of reception of this message. Estimated strength, at least 200 ships of various categories. Prognosticated forces on board, several thousand traitor Astartes, a known number of mortal troops, lower end estimation, 10 billion cultists and other degenerate forces. Ships identified show 6th Legion allegiances on 40% of all enemy vessels. Vessels registering in the database as belonging to the 1st Legion also detected. Warning: the demon ship Invisible Hand has been identified among the Chaos Fleet. Saratohel is coming. Vengeance for the Primarch.